Welcome to part 4 on Power BI and Claude Code. In part 2, we have created a data dimension for our Power BI report, and let's summarize what we have done. We have already a Power BI report that is based on the AdventureWorks database, and we are interested to create a sales report and show some information and measures based on the sales data. Let's have a look at the data model that we have imported. We have the sales order headers, we have sales order details, we have products, we have customers, and we have a date dimension that is linked to the sales order header. So this is our simple data model. And as you can see, the date order date is connected with the date in the date dimension. And now I would like to create a small table to have the subtotals summarized, and I would also like to compare the totals from this year to the previous year, and to do so we are going to instruct Claude Code to write the DAX measures and formulas in our application. So let's close Power BI and switch back to Visual Studio Code. I have already loaded the project here in my VS Code folder. This is our Power BI project, and I have initialized Claude Code so it knows what we are working on and what it should do. Now that it knows all the data structure that is part of our Power BI report, we will now create a prompt that instructs to create the measures for us. And to do so, we can simply write the prompt here in the text. So I could say I want to compare the sales amount from 1 year, this period to the same period in the last year, e.g. May 2020 to May 2019. So we are not only comparing year by year, but you can also say, let's compare a month or a calendar week or whatever you want to compare based on your filter criteria, and therefore create 2 DAX measures. The first measure should summarize the subtotals from the sales order header table, and the second measure should use the first one but show the previous year's sum. And let's give some instructions. We have this date dimension that we have created, so these measures should be based on our date dimension. Make sure to use the existing date dimension table. We know this is a currency, so we can say format the measures as currency, and I simply suppose here this is euros, and follow the Power BI best practices. Do not place the measures on an existing data table, but create a measure table. So this should be enough. I'm not telling it what it should do exactly, so I don't write here DAX formula, and I'm not saying it should use same period last year function, but this is a very high level requirement, and let's see what Claude Code will do with these instructions. It should now investigate the project, find the sales order header, should find that we have a subtotal, should understand that the sales order header is connected with the data dimension, should create a measure table for us where all the measures will be placed and create two measures. The first one should be really simple, just summing up the subtotals, and the second one should create same period last year function based on the first measure. So let's see what it is doing. This may take a few seconds, but this is not a so sophisticated requirement. Anyway, if you're not sure if your prompt is good enough, what you can do is take this prompt and ask, for example, Claude in a chat window, if he understands this prompt or if it should be written in a different way, or simply discuss it with Claude and optimize the prompt and then paste it back to Claude Code, or use the planning mode that we have seen in one of our videos already. So it says it is finished and it has created two measures. Okay, we will check this out simply by opening our Power BI report and have a look what Claude Code has done to our report. It did not create any visuals, but it should have created a measure table and two measures, and we will see if it is working correctly. So I see a measure table and I see two measures here, which is correct. Now we will validate. First, I'm using a slicer here based on my date, and I'm using the year. And if you know the AdventureWorks data a little bit, you know this is very old data. So I want to format it using the tiles, and you will see we have data, I think, only for 2018. So in the next step, I'm adding a table, and sales order header is here, and we can add the sales order ID as first column, use from our order date the year. Okay, it's 2008, it's even more late than I thought. And we said we want to summarize the subtotals. So when we filter here on 2008, we have this value here, and now I'm placing the sales amount next to the subtotal here, and if everything is coded right, it should be the same value. This looks good, and now when we place the previous year, it should be 0 because there is no data for 2007. But if we now switch to 2009, these two columns should be empty, and we should have this information in the previous year. So let's go one step further, 2009, and this looks also good. So the actual year is 0, and in the previous year we have this information from 2008. Yeah, looks good. And Claude has created these formulas here. So not very sophisticated, but you see that when we use Claude here, it can create DAX measures for our Power BI report. Thanks for watching and have fun with Claude and Power BI. Bye bye.